The Toxic Cave update in Fisch is not as confusing as everybody makes it to be. I'm here to prove it to you that you can easily obtain the Verdant Rod, the Bee Stinger Rod, and if you're after it, even the Reaper's whatever called rod. So to start off, you'll need a rod that has an invincible enchant on it. So pretty much anything you can put an invincible on to be able to fish in these toxic waters. Alternatively, if you don't have an enchant, you can always buy the Decayed Rod from here and actually use it in one of these toxic boils to try and catch the, what is it called? Venom Maw, which you'll need to get across using Raft and to turn into the Reaper. In order to spot a toxic boil, what you're after for is these bubbles. I always recommend staying on this tree, on this boulder, pretty much to the right of where you enter in, and you'll be able to spot a bunch of these bubbles. If you want to know, the Venom Maw actually prefers shark head bait, and I already had one. I'm just trying to get one that's decayed using the Decayed Fishing Rod. Its stats are pretty trashy, so I did put an enchant on it, and we have Mystical, just to get a bit of a boost in luck, lure speed, resilience, but still I wasn't able in, I believe, around 30 to 40 baits to catch it so far. The toxic boils spawn roughly every 2 to 3 minutes, I guess, and if you just kind of go in this route where you go all around the cave, you should be able to notice the water bubbling up. It really helps if it's nighttime, because some of these areas will get really lit up and then it's really easy to identify. There we go, we got another one. As you can see, the area gets really lit up, and once you get close, it will say that it's toxic boil. Just go ahead, fish in this area. For the raft, you don't actually have to use the Decayed Rod. So if you have another rod with a really high luck that's with an invincible enchant, just use that. But for the Reaper's quest, you will need to catch a decayed one. Once you get one, what you'll do is you'll turn it into Olivia. It doesn't have to be a decayed. I just did it because I do it for the Reaper's quest and I got it randomly while filming this video. But you can't catch any of those in these toxic pools that spawn randomly. What you can also do is, you can see displayed here, a random guy just jumped on my raft. You'll get your raft after turning it into Olivia and just sail across to the other side. That's where the second area opens up, and where probably the most time consuming part will begin to obtain 2 of your rods. So the Living Garden is technically the area where you obtain both the Verdant Oath and the Sweet Stinger rods. As soon as you enter, be on the lookout for these flowers. This one is open, so you cannot interact with it, so what you're after is a closed flower, one that looks like this. Once you walk up to it, you'll be able to open it up. Once you do it, you have a random chance to receive a seed and your pollinated buff. The pollinated buff I'll explain in a moment, but let's focus on the seeds. There are 4 seeds in total, and you'll need all of them in order to get 100% completion for the Bestiary, and it's the requirement to also unlock the Verdant Oath. But the way you get them is, as I said, you just receive them randomly. However, all 3 of those seeds you'll probably receive pretty fast. The living seed is probably what's going to take you the longest. In total, I probably spent, I don't know, a good couple hours opening up the seeds constantly, and I'll now show you a quick route how I used to go around to get them opened up. So from the moment you enter, there's one on the right, and skip ahead to your left, there's a couple more here, there's one on this ledge, then we just keep going forward past this part. There we go, we can already see a couple closed ones. There's 2 more. There's one just behind this rock. There we go, another person just opened it up. Then there's 2 more by the Nectar Koi Abundance. One more on here. Back to the main route. We go up on this ledge. There's one more, and 3 more. So that's my typical route. I would go pretty much back and forth between those. And a secret word of advice: if you start up a new private server, all of these will be closed. So if you save your spot in the inn, you can actually open them up pretty fast, because this is where you'll spawn. This is what it looks like when the Flower Guardian spawns. Usually loads of people rush in. Not any like specific mechanics to it. It's a pretty easy catch as long as you use a rod with a lot of luck. Nothing really specific, and I think its preferred bait is the Kraken Tentacle and Thorn Cluster. I have a few from Quest, I believe, and I don't know how else you get them. Yeah, should be pretty fast catch. So once you have your 100% completion of the Living Garden Bestiary, and you just caught your Flower Guardian, or it doesnn't matter which order you do it, you'll come here next to the Nectar Koi Abundance. That's where we'll actually find our Verdant Oath rod. Word of advice though, first things first, it costs 12.5 million. Second thing is, even though that I have the 100% Bestiary completion, you actually need to be at least level 1000 to be able to purchase it. So keep that in mind. And you were probably wondering about the pollinated buff. By the time you have all of these seeds, you'll probably have, I don't know, close to like an hour of the buffs. At least that's what I had when I was collecting for all of the seeds. So just to show you, next to the Nectar Koi Abundance, where you also obtain the Verdant Oath, if you just go past this, you'll actually enter an area called the Nectar Den. Unopened. Once I open it up, you receive this pollinated buff. 2 minutes. Back inside. Into the Nectar Den. And then actually we no longer will take any damage. Here you can also find the Sweet Bee Stinger Rod, or the Sweet Stinger Rod. I already have purchased this, and the only requirement here is to have 100% of the bestiary completion for this area to be able to purchase it. Another good perk of that rod is, if I just show it to you, once you have it equipped, and if your pollinated buff runs out, you'll actually no longer take any of the damage from the bees, and you'll be able to just fish around here in peace. The bestiary doesn't have that many fishes to catch. I think the most annoying one was the home cluster that I had to catch, because I think I had everything, including the Queen Bee Serpent, before I got my calm cluster. And for that one, you just use a rapid catcher. Another good reason to use it is because technically you're fishing in honey, so it has a really slow and reduced lure speed. So if we check on the Blade of Glorp, we have a lure speed of 100%. So no bait, nothing used. If I just chuck it in, you'll see that I have the shake mechanic. That's because, again, we're technically fishing in honey. It's apparently really thick and really hard to get fish to bite. So if you have any enchants for your rod to increase the lure speed, that should help you out greatly. As far as it comes for the Queen Bee Serpent to spawn, I believe you don't get a server notification or anything like that, like in the chat that says that it spawned. If you just have people fishing in the general area, at some point it will spawn somewhere around here. If I can find a clip of it, I'll insert it in, and you'll just have like an abundance. The good thing about it is, though, you can catch more than one of these. So good luck. While we're waiting for the seeds to grow, I'll wait for you to hit that like and subscribe, and maybe drop me a comment saying if this helped you at all or not, or if I should make more of these guides that potentially other guides have missed. Now, for those of you still watching, still another secret to uncover. All the seeds we've just gathered up, they will pick one most. If we plop one down, while it still has the timer running, and if we just pull out our Flower Guardian, here, walk up to the seed, that still had its timer on, it will actually transform into the secret rod called the Bloomspire. You can actually go ahead and purchase it. You might think to yourself, wait a minute, that's really expensive for a really crappy rod. But let's go ahead and purchase it to reveal the rest of the mechanics. With your Bloomspire rod equipped, here, if you just look for the Dream Orchid, it's one of the items you should have obtained from completing the Oliver's quest just at the entrance of the cave. And if we use it, actually get a separate patient. See, we can switch our rods. I think there's 2 or 3 more seeds, including the living seed that you get from the Bestiary, then another one from the Toxic Grow that you can catch that also gives you like a couple more mutations. So it can be a very different, interesting rod that you set up.